SunPayus and valde to ENCE, order for sale, BLAST group results, and first teams to qualify to the Rio RMRs. Hey everybody, I'm Heku and this is HLTV Peek. Let's get started. Some time ago, we found out that Hades is out of ENCE, and just last week we received confirmation of Spinks joining Vitality. Now we have an official announcement of SunPayus and valde getting picked up by the Finnish organization. And while this signing looks pretty interesting, there are some uncertainties floating around the lineup. For example, will SunPayus be able to show the same miraculous results in an international lineup since previously he was playing in a fully Spanish team? Will valde, with his years of experience but 4 months of inactivity, be able to fill in the gap that was left by the ENCE's ex-star player Spinks? What do you guys think about the new ENCE? Tell us in the comments. Besides the changes in ENCE, the only other noticeable ones happened in Imperial. They now officially added Cello from MIBR to their lineup, while FNX joins the team as a coach. And while the roster apocalypse is finally leaving the scene, something unusual happened for the first time in the history of CSGO. Forrest, one of the OGs of the scene, became a free agent. This happens despite Forrest's performance still being considered decent at his age of 34, something we've never seen in competitive CS. The player himself says that his DMs are open for anyone who has interesting offers. Alright, so now let's talk about events. The group stage of the BLAST Premier Fall Groups has concluded, and during it we got a first glimpse of the potential of the newly formed teams. In Group A, Dexter did not manage to prevent OG from finishing last. NAP first won their opening series against Astralis, but then, after losing to Vitality, they lost to the Danes in a rematch. After reaching the group final through the lower bracket, Astralis won in OT against the French, Danish, Israeli, against the international lineup of Vitality. In Group B, we also saw some surprises. First of all, NAVI was playing without s1mple. In his spot, they had Hattrick, an academy player that previously stood in for Boomage during EPL. Just like Astralis in Group A, they first lost their opening series, which was against Complexity, then survived against G2 in the lower bracket, got revenge against the NA Juggernaut, and rolled over Liquid in the final. 2 interesting interviews, one with Xstars and one with HooXi, were released by HLTV. The G2 coach explained that he does not consider AlexCB to be a bad IGL and that the Finnish player got switched due to having an approach that does not fit the team. He also defended Nico from the stereotype that has been floating in the scene for many years. I've never seen Nico looking to call the shots, nor have I seen him contradict the vision of his IGL, said Xstars about one of the Kovac cousins. In the meantime, the new leader of G2, HooXi, joked that he can shoot nothing for 6 months and they could still win every tournament. Don't worry, HooXi, we will remember this and we'll keep on quoting it. In Group C, Evil Geniuses finished in 4th place and Big tasted defeat on Nuke versus Heroic not once, but twice. After losing on the power plant versus FaZe, but winning on the same map versus the Germans, the Danes took the Inferno from the major winners, which resulted in Heroic topping the group. The knockout stage of the BLAST will resume on Thursday, so in the meantime, we can take a sneak peek on what's happening in the open qualifiers for the Rio RMRs. In Europe, Sprout, Team Falcons, Mouse, Aurora, and OG managed to qualify from the first try. From the second qual, Fnatic, K23, Force, and Monte earned themselves a trip to the RMR. Some of the biggest European names that are still trying to qualify are Movistar Riders, Entropic, Eternal Fire, Eyeballers, and Astralis. The Danes are living proof of how ruthless the best-of-1 format is. While they managed to top the BLAST group against some of the best teams in the world, they keep on getting bullied by CIS teams in the open qual. Let's just hope they'll be a little bit more lucky in the 3rd or maybe at least 4th qualification. And while we already know that in the Americas, Complexity, X-Gaiman, Pain Gaming, MIBR, 00 Nation, 9D and Uplan are already locked in for the RMR, in the minor regions we have a full list of all of the teams that we'll see in the close qualifier. From the Asian quals, it is IHT Esports, Team NKT, RRAF and the Mongols. From the Chinese one, Rare Atom, Linvision, Tyloo and Wings Up. From the Middle East, we got 666, GGHao International, Nasser and GPB, and from Oceania, it is Rooster, Encore, DGG, and the lineup of order. I hope I don't need to repeat this again. The reason why I felt like adding the lineup and didn't just say order for the Australian team is because the organization and its CSGO roster have entered a period of uncertainty. Order has been put for sale and stated that the company is out of money. And that is despite receiving an approximately 3.6 million investment in 2021. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that was just a year ago. The newly appointed administrator says that the organization is in talks with a dozen different parties. I just hope that one of them is Sponge and he's planning to save the Australian scene. In the next episode of HLTV Peek, we'll have a complete list of the European, North, South American and minor region teams that will play in the RMRs. Until then, I don't know, just go outside, touch some grass, and then re-peek in a week.